but I encourage you to think about the victims, all right? Think about, like, if you have companion animals or if you've ever had, like, a pet. Have you ever had?
Yeah.
How do you feel about them?
Like, love them 100%.
Yeah.
So would you force them into a slaughterhouse?
Nope.
No.
I have to say I love the colors.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know. I'm like in love with the colors.
Thank you.
I have a feeling. So my name's Rebecca. What's your name?
I'm Ruby.
I'm Soleil.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So when you think about oppression, do you think that it's okay for the more powerful to oppress the weak or anybody who's just different than they are?
Definitely not.
I
No.
don't think so. I think people in power should use their power for good and to help those in need, not to oppress others.
Yeah, 100%. I think, like, there's a lot of people in power right now who are just, like, the rich making themselves richer and then the poor are getting poorer, and I don't think that's good.
Yeah, I think it's become like a cycle and we need to like stand up and fix it, otherwise it's just gonna get worse.
Yeah, a lot of systems of oppression that we experience have been a certain way for a long time.
Yeah.
And so people, they have a hard time kind of seeing around that, it takes a lot of effort. So when you think about, now I'm going to kind of shift gears. What about like animals, the animals that go into slaughterhouses and the animals that are used for all kinds of products and things?
I think that like it can be like it can go like both ways. Like I think I understand, especially with like in olden times, like we needed to like kill animals to survive. Like that's how like we gained protein. It's how like we even like developed our like brains to be stronger, is eating meat. But I think like it's come to a certain point where there's like so much cruelty involved that like I understand like people who want it to like stop or want to lessen it or something.
Yeah. Well, I don't eat meat, and I think that part of that is environmental issues because, like, I want to protect our ozone layer and whatnot. But definitely, like, I think slaughterhouses are an issue, and the cruelty that goes into those slaughterhouses is just terrible. And I don't agree with that. But there are ways for people to like eat meat and like know their sources. You just really have to know where it's coming from. But then there's also like, I mean, I will say I'm not vegan, I'm just vegetarian, so I will eat dairy, and I do think about like how like there's even in like dairy products and stuff like that, there's a lot of animal cruelty.
Yeah, I think that like there could be a way to like do it with less cruelty and stuff if we like actually tried hard enough. But similar to like the oppression of like I guess like people, it's like there is like we are like a little bit too far fast, so we really need to do a lot to help it. And I think, and also like it's like kind of like insinuated in like almost like everybody like to eat like meat or something.
It's
and
really
it can be
cultural.
hard sometimes. And also that like it can be like a cultural thing or like a religious thing sometimes.
So do you think that culture or religion should come before harming another individual without their consent?
What? No, I think that like a lot of people use religion as an excuse, and I don't think that's a valid excuse. Like, follow your religion, but your religion is something that is like that you follow yourself. So you can practice it in church, you can practice it however you want to practice your religion. But there's like a difference between like you shouldn't harm people because like the Bible says so or something. Like that's not a fair excuse. And I think that like a lot of people do use religion as an excuse. And I think that like practice freedom of religion, practice your religion is fine, but like there's a line that needs to be drawn when like harming, like you shouldn't harm people or animals.
Because we know that there's been a lot of research done, scientific research that proves that animals are sentient. And so they feel emotions like we do.
Yeah.
They have a lot of different social interactions, like they have friends, they have family. Like even chickens, like chicks they can do basic math. And chickens actually purr, they like to be cozy. Pigs, they're very intelligent too. Like they have the intelligence of like a toddler. and we know that they're smarter than most dogs.
Yeah.
Cows are very maternal because they're mammals, and their babies are taken away from them so that they can give the dairy. And the bad part is that the same cows that are used for dairy end up going into slaughterhouses.
Yeah.
So it's like, even if you're vegetarian, it's like you're still supporting the system. So it's really hard. But when we think about making change, it usually happens one person at a time, Now with the smaller farms, I know that we kind of talked about being humane.
Yeah.
But if you can imagine someone kind of like controlling you and, giving you just enough so that, you feel a little taken care of, but your body, like you don't have any control over your body. They might give you a name, maybe you're not at the slaughterhouse, but you still don't have control over your own life, and one day they come to you and they're like, hey, guess what? You're not producing anymore. We're going to kill you.
Yeah.
So that's the smaller farms. So either way, the animals, they are systematically oppressed. So
Well, I think going back to oppression with people though is a lot of people, chicken is cheap, chicken's a source of protein, and there's a lot of things that people will need those things, and honestly don't know about it because education is money. And so it's
I think also a lot of people don't have the resources to be vegan or be vegetarian. You think of people in poor communities or in food deserts, which typically does target lower income people or people of color, and I think that is a big thing to think about when you're thinking of animal cruelty and stuff like that, because even if people want to, if all they have access to is a Plaid Pantry and a McDonald's, that's what they're gonna get. They're gonna get stuff to survive, and if that includes meat or dairy products, and the first thing they're thinking about isn't animal cruelty, it's how do I survive? And also I do agree with I don't believe in animal cruelty. I don't believe in any types of cruelty, and honestly the more time I spend around her, the more time I consider being vegetarian. But I think that there's so many other players it can't it wouldn't be able to happen as easy as we might be able to think it is, but I do think that it could happen.
Yeah.
Well, change doesn't happen overnight a lot of times, we know. And
Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah, but I understand what you said about people that maybe are disadvantaged, they don't have, but looking at what the cheapest foods are in the world is rice and beans. And we're definitely not forcing our views on people that are out of civilization, and it's they're tribal, they don't go to grocery stores. You know what I mean? That's totally unreasonable. But you two, do you live in Portland?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have access to a lot of different options.
Yeah.
So knowing that, do you think that it would be easier for you to think about not using animals so much?
Yeah, 100%. There's a lot more options in Portland, and I think already that's being here, there's so many resources, and we're at the farmers market right now. There's a ton of vegetables and stuff that you can cook up without meat. And I think that for me right now, the most I can do is be vegetarian. I've thought about being vegan, and it's just already as a minor in my friend groups and stuff, it's sometimes hard to go out to eat and I don't have anything to eat, and it's it's not I'm sticking to myself and being true to myself, so I'm not gonna swap just because someone else is. But it's I do understand how for younger kids it's a lot harder, and students, because what I've been served in school is most of the time not vegetarian. So I'm at Portland Community College, and a lot of the food there I'll see, I'm so I can eat a scone for lunch, or go somewhere else. So it's I understand how it's difficult, but to try to do as much as you can is I feel as much as I can at the moment is being vegetarian, so that's as much as I feel I can do.
Well, and I hear
They're
you.
saying you're trans.
So just
Sorry.
the trolls.
Yeah.
We know about trolls. Don't worry about them. I'm going to give you the card before we end the conversation so you can go back and see this, and stuff, and put comments in if you'd like.
Okay.
So, I totally hear you. And, I didn't become vegan until like 7 years ago, and I'm a lot older than both of you.
Yeah.
I was vegetarian when I was a young person, and so it kind of like was an evolution for me. But so I really appreciate that you're at the stage that you're at with your thinking. I think that's totally awesome, But I encourage you to think about the victims, all right? Think about, like, if you have companion animals or if you've ever had, like, a pet. Have you ever had?
Yeah.
How do you feel about them?
Like, love them 100%.
Yeah.
So would you force them into a slaughterhouse?
Nope.
No.
No, but again though, for me, being vegan right now would be really hard, especially with my family.
Yeah.
It's just like sometimes it's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
I'm like already a little judged for it, and it's just like I don't think taking the next step right now. But if I move out and can buy all my own stuff, 100% I would be vegan.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know. You know what's funny is when I first went vegan, like nobody in my family was. Like I had some strange particular. What did they say?
Okay.
Hold on a second. I had some concerning eating habits. Like I had some sort of eating disorder. It's like, so I know how family can be, but now. My parents are both vegan, and so after a while, like if you share information with them, they may change with you.
Yeah.
So don't shortchange them. They might even listen to what you have to say.
Okay.
So we're anti-animal use, and I'm going to give you a card too. So we have a YouTube channel and a website, and on the card there's some different resources. So there's a 10 weeks to vegan challenge. Nutritionfacts.org has access to a mentor that can help you if you want to go vegan. There's Dominion. It's a movie that shows what animals go through, and this just tells you these are the Dailey Dozen. If you eat all these in a day, which is actually a lot of food, like that's all your nutrition. And on our website, it answers a lot of questions that you might have about veganism, and there's a 3-minute movie challenge on there that I challenge you to watch. So, what was your names again?
I'm Ruby.
Ruby.
I'm Soleil.
Well, Soleil. I'm Rebecca.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm so happy to speak with you today, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take
Have
care.
a good
nice day.
You too.